Good evening. This is the Elliott Wave update for the NASDAQ 100 and the S&P 500 for Tuesday, April the 30th, 2024. Well, we did get earnings today. We got them in Supermicro Computer. We got them in Amazon, AMD, and Starbucks, actually. Really disappointed and came flying back down. The ones that I watched were Supermicro Computer, AMD, and Amazon. Supermicro Computer, as also then it affected NVIDIA. So it gets real interesting now. I'm going to start there before I actually get into the NASDAQ. It was an interesting little ride. This is Supermicro Computer. This is NVIDIA. This is after the close. So we went running. So we actually initially they dropped it. So I was wondering who came out, and they got it down to 835, and then from there they ran it up almost $100. Actually, more than $100. The high was 940. Then they ran it. This is a minute. These are minute bars. 1 minute, 2 minutes. So in 2 minutes, $100. Then start to drop it, drop it, drop it. And where did they bring it back down to? With a low of 796, 797. So it's like, wait a minute. There's another over 100-point drop, and kind of plop around, bring it back down again towards the end of the extra hour session, reaching a low at 777, rally up off of that, run it back up to 800, now bringing it back down. It's insane. Here's NVIDIA, where we get that first, oh, slam it down, oh, run it up. And this was all a 5-minute bar. The low, 856, the high, 883. They're now pushing this to new lows now that the extra hour session is gone. Now being pushed to gotten as low as 850, bouncing a little bit up for that. Now, here's the NASDAQ. Market for the most part looked like, okay, it could have finished forget this count. Let me just pay attention for a second and go, because I'm going to do both. Version A, version B. What I'm showing is version A, and that the 4 goes in place. Version B would suggest this is wave 1, minute wave 1 of minor wave 5. Expectations would be that it goes, breaks above that high, keeps going, ends up, as I showed you yesterday, somewhere around 19,100, 200, somewhere in there. Can that still be a lie? Yeah, it could. We have Apple. We have Apple. That's what we got left. And plus we got the Fed. What to worry? And we have NVIDIA mid-May. Sure, it could happen. But then what actually is kind of coming through is version A, which is suggesting that the highs are in, and it's 1, 2, 3, and we had a 4, albeit higher than I would have expected, higher than even Elliott would have expected, but it did not break the rule. And the rule is that wave 4 cannot overlap wave 1. Wave 1 bottomed at 18,072. Wave 4 actually topped at 17,949. So it still had room. And then it just started to keel over. So under this count, what would the expectation be? Well, we kind of maybe bounce a little bit. Is this 1 of 5? Or 1, 2, 3, and a 4 and a 5? Are we gonna, how is this all gonna play out? We'll see. If I bring this down and we take a quick look on the hourly chart and we open it up, kind of, is that a 1, 2, 1, 2? I don't know. That is definitely looked like it could have been a 5 inside of it. That's for sure 3. And what is this? But so that's why I could, okay, it could be just, a small 4 and we go up, right? ABC 4, we go up, failed. And then just played and played and then started to head lower. So it was really after the earnings, right? Here we go. That's the close. Kind of run it up and they run it down. So, but it was moving lower most of the day. So how would we going to count this? Again, if indeed minute wave 4, we're looking for minute wave 5, it's going to have 5 waves of minuet degree. I'd have to somewhere figure this a 1, 2. And now we're in a third. And this is kind of overnight, but that's 1, 2, 1, 2, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1 of 3. 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3. 1, 2, and then we come back down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of 3, 4, 5 of 3, 4, 5. And it comes out and likely goes below 17,133. Now, what else can I look at that maybe is going to tell me that we can go further? The first thing we want to do is we're going to add these fibs. That is going to give us another little bit of information. Again, pretty high, but here we go. Now, 100%, 1.618, 16,891. Everything else falls within not putting in a new low below 17,133. 100% is 17,295. It's going to maybe be support, but then the whole shebang, 5, get us down to probably 16,891. And then guess what? That would be minor wave 1 of this new primary C wave coming up, right? Off of that high, minor wave 1. Then you get 3 waves up. And we still get another rally. And we get another bigger because it'll be a minor degree rally, a minor wave 2. So if this is going to be 1, there's the high. There would be the low. The high of the start of wave 1, the completion point of 1, possibly. And then we do another one in between. So we continue to rally in this while everything else works its way out. Apple reports, the Fed, blah, blah, etc. You know, maybe Apple is going to disappoint and that'll drive the market down, but then they'll kind of bring it back up. And maybe NVIDIA then reports and that gives us a good boost. And then it all kind of something else happens. So I think that I'm not going to try to put fundamentals or geopolitical situations around what the market can do, but I'm going to say technically, both are still alive. Technically, the market could turn from here and just they pile back in tomorrow. I mean, pile back in tomorrow, as if the world depends on it. Now, I also want to share a little bit with you guys in something else that it truly is kind of fascinating to me, because I'm looking at this as if, sorry, my train of thought. I was looking up something else. And what I look at this is to what the expirations coming up are. And what I'm checking out and looking at is just the size of these expirations that are coming up basically in the Qs, right? NASDAQ Qs. So I had that before. I don't want to come back down. There we are. I want to go look at the Qs, and we're looking at expiration concentrations. And what we have the May 17, right? That's our next monthly expiration. And that one combined right now is about, I'm going to say $17-18 billion. Then there is the June expiration, which right now, right, is, and this is just a guesstimate, about 27 billion. That's June over May. I'm like, holy cow. There's a lot of money coming due or going to change hands in June. unless between now and June even, right? That's how much money is out there. So that's kind of what I'm talking about, is that the money flow is still huge. And that's going to produce a lot of trade. So I believe, yes, I think the market can come down, finish it, put a minor wave one in here, rally strongly in a minor second wave, hold below that high. I'm not looking for, I would not be looking for a new high if this comes down, put in a minor one. We could still rally, but we're going to hang out in between. And that's saying that maybe we don't go past 16,891. We most certainly can. We have 16,767 and then 16,240. Those are possible as well. Now, the earnings that now came out today are a little bit conflicting, because what I want to add to this, what I will add, Microsoft, which earnings were good. They weren't bad. Strong, strength, great product, everything all in alignment. Stock was down almost $13 today. Back below now the lows from the earnings. Right? Meta, we already saw them on when they reported, had gone down to like 400. Now they're back around. They got back around 440, 450. Now toning it down a little bit, coming it back into line down to the downside. Google, 175. Now 162, 83, 163. Things settle. So they get back in alignment. AMD right now, which did report this afternoon, closed at 158, which was down, now trading 146 to 147. So again, if you're going to factor that in, that is what's going to affect our market. And what does that tell us? It's like, well, should we really just be hanging our hat and our hopes and our dreams on NVIDIA, on Apple, on the Fed? Or do we take it in stride and like, okay, nothing's really changing. So what were we expecting? Now, again, I want to say, can the markets turn and run higher? Yeah, they can. I swear they can. And they could just do it on the hope, women, and prayer that Jerome Powell's going to speak, whatever. Tell us that everything is great, fine, and we're all on track, and don't you worry, and see, I'm all relaxed. You should be too. I don't know. But I am saying that I believe that we may have turned the corner. I'm not breaking any rules. I'm now putting back up. I'm not changing because I trade both. But I am saying this one likely is now appearing that it could fall down and therefore invalidate the other. That's kind of the point. Remember yesterday I was showing you and I said, like, okay, the B version could invalidate the A version, which is this one that I'm showing here on the chart. And today, had it gone up and gotten past that level, well, if it's supposed to be 1 and this is a 2, if it breaks 17,113, you're going to hear people say, well, no, it could still be this. And it's like, but it's going to be more in line that the highs are in. There's one count that I believe Sasha has, and he does the trade room with me, where that there's a larger 3 completing and that it's a larger 4. With still that 5th wave to come. But I think, even that, when you start breaking 17,000, really begins to put a lot of pressure on holding to an upside. So again, we've got a lot that's beginning to show us that the highs might be in, and we are going to head lower, regardless of what the narrative and the swirl begins to think about NVIDIA, SMCI, Tesla. The other one, Tesla, 198. Well, Tesla, 181 this afternoon, 181. What a difference a day makes, right? So what was yesterday? It was a big whirlwind of money changing hands. Those that needed to sell got it up to where they were happy, and those that were buying it were like, oh, probably just as happy. I don't know. But again, big money changing hands. So seeing this happen is not surprising. So for tomorrow, let me just double check to make sure, because of course we do have as well. We do have some economic data on Wednesday. We have the ADP employment number. Now, mind you, today, what started us off was the employment cost index. They didn't like it, boom, and that set the tone for the balance of the day. I remember I said yesterday when I was telling you what's coming this week, I said it's employment week. All of the data, the big important data is surrounding employment numbers, employment data. So today was employment cost index. Tomorrow's ADP employment. And then we have job openings as well. So ADP employment at 8:15 a.m. Then we have construction spending at 10, ISM Manufacturing at 10 a.m., and job openings at 10 a.m. And then at 2 p.m., we have the interest rate decision, which is pretty much commonly now accepted that it'll be unchanged again. So the surprise would be anything off of unchanged. And then at 2:30 p.m., Fed Chair Powell does his press conference. So it is kind of a bigger day, and it's kind of swamps anybody that's coming out with earnings, possibly. But again, so that's the NASDAQ. How are moving averages? Well, look what's happened. The 200 still sits up top, which kind of also goes along with we're going down. And then the 13 and the 20 went, okay, and they turned hard, and so did the 50. When they get back below, the 13 and the 20 get back below the 50, then it's in alignment. You have the 200, the 50, the 20, the 13, and we likely will head lower. Okay, remember, here is, and I'm going to take this off for right now, because it only had meaning with that 17,432 there. If I take it off, now we've got downside projections going on. And so we surpassed 17,545, and we're heading towards 17,295. We'll see what happens. They're continuing to smack a lot of these stocks. And then eventually we have some additional support right there, 305-ish, I guess. And then we have some price support coming in here. And then, of course, that low at 17,113. And a break there. I mean, there's support all the way down to 17,100, of course. But that would be one ticket. The next ticket is right there. Which, by the way, if I take it out, I believe that's wave one, minor wave one. Top's right there. So if this is going to come off, a wave four cannot break wave one, right? So let me just confirm that. Wave one. Nah, it is. Actually, it's 236 of a much larger move, and wave one is right down there at 646. But if it breaks that, it's kind of getting a little bit sketchy that it's going to go down and break wave one, but it wouldn't have yet. And if I'm allowing it for the upside, for the downside count, I have to allow it for the upside count as well. Now, I'm going to finish this up. Let's go over and take a look at the S&P. S&P sitting right down on the old trend line, and that's pretty much right where it closed. Now, it's kind of the same thing. In fact, I want to just go look. We have those expirations. Let me just take a look real quickly over to see on the spiders about the expirations, the expiration concentrations. So what we have on May the 17th is about 27 billion. On June, it's upwards about 39 billion. So June is the bigger month. June is a huge month for both spiders and the Qs. A lot of money. So I think a lot will happen in between all of that. Let's take a look at the S&P. S&P as well, I have moved it. Oops. Let me go back out to my 4-hour chart. I've left that 3 there because it's like it hasn't been taken out, but I am getting it out of the way and we're coming down. So what I've changed it back also to, this is not minor 4. If it is, folks, right? We didn't break any rules. Same deal as it is in the NASDAQ. It did not break the rule. So wave 4 could be here. Had it broken that rule, then it wouldn't be. It would be wave 1. So in any case, it hasn't actually broken the rule on the way down either. It's just surpassed, getting a little bit past 50% retracement. If indeed this is 1 and this is going to be a 2, and it would be a minute 2. So we come down and now that's A, B, or is this A, B? I don't know. I'm going to say it's this way. And this is maybe a 3rd, a 4, and a 5. And then maybe there's that 1, who knows? Now, if I take this off, this would be for wave 2. We're starting to get down there. And again, we're going to start playing around with, and I know you guys don't like it when I do it, but there's a put wall. It's still at 5, and the SPX at 5,000. It's still going to hold where there should be support. If you break it, we get another quick round of selling. And last time it drove the market down to 49.63 in the SPX and the S&P, and the SPX it drove it a little bit further. Now, if I take this off, and then we're going to put the correct one on because that was for the upside. This is for the upside. And I'm going to take that off as well. And now I'm going to go back out, go over to the, now I can just go out of my 4-hour chart. Should be able to get there and open it back up. And I want to capture this wave 1 because it could really produce a humdinger for, oh, excuse me. I can just go down here and I just want to go this way. Sorry, I was thinking the wrong thing. I go to there and then over to here. And now coming down. So we can see that we're still inside. We need to, wave 5 should break below 49.60. So we're coming into 1.618, where minute wave 5 would be 1.618 times the length of minute wave 1, not uncommon, at 49.26. That would put in the new low, and then it could put in minor wave 1. And this would then change. So it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, minor wave 1, and we still get a minor second wave. And the high is 533, right? 5,333. That would be the high, and then wherever the low gets put in, the wave 2 would kind of figure itself out in between the two. So bottom line, what I'm really trying to say here is like either we're going to go up and we're going to make a new high up close 5,300, or we come down, make a new seasonal low, so to speak, like just around 4,900, maybe even a low 4,800. We can go down to 47.85. For sure, we can go there. And then we put in. So there's the range. And that range then probably takes us out through June, July. And before we get wave 2, and then we get the next move. So right now, I'd kind of be looking for I want to go the hour down. And I'm going to open this up, see what we got going on. See, the same kind of thing. ABC. So strange. So it is a 1, 2, 1, 1, 2. It's very bizarre. And then we come back down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3, 4, 5, 3, 4, 5. So it is going. Can the market turn around? Yes, it can. But I'm going to tell you, same thing has to happen here as it would happen in the NASDAQ. It has to go from here and just go. Same way it came down, boom, 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 like right there. It's got to turn and go. Could it do it? Yes. They could reverse this whole dispersion stuff and do it all over again tomorrow and just sell the VIX. Sell the VIX. And, buy all of this underlying volatility again. Stranger things. But right now, I am gonna, let's see what it does. And if it's gonna come in here, it should do it pretty much just as quick, at least back below that level, and then back below the low thus far that we've had at 49.62. All right, moving averages. Let's go back out to the 4-hour chart and let's take a look inside. Moving averages, we got the 200 up here actually turned down, nasty. And then we got the 50 turning lower, but we got the 20 and the 13 joining forces and pushing to get below that 50, and then we're in alignment to go down again. All right. So once again, I gave all the numbers, and we do have some, I'm sure their earnings reports are coming out tomorrow, and Apple is on Tuesday. Tomorrow's Fed Day. Next update will be on Wednesday, May the 1st.